Let's face it, 80s were a little bit crazy. The fashion was honestly just kind of awful. We didn't even really have CDs. But they did bring us something we will forever be grateful for. The Koss Porta-Pros. What's going on, everybody? Jeremy with Detroit Tech. In 1984, Koss released the Porta-Pro headphones. They've never really stopped being available, but they seem to have gone through, I guess, a bit of a renaissance with Mastrap being here, even creating, their own version. Do they really deserve the resurgence of popularity? Well, let's find out. We'll start with finish. These can be pretty polarizing. The design hasn't really changed much from the 80s. They look right at home connected to a Sony Walkman. If you don't know what that is, just go ahead and look it up, I'll wait. The Mastrap version here is this all black, which I love, and you can find different colors on Amazon or other retailers. The cable is relatively thick for such a lightweight headphone, and the stress relief spring is awesome at that termination. They also collapse and have a little hook at the end so they can fit into this cool little bag that they came with. Overall, these are really an art piece. 5 out of 5 for me, but 100% this will vary depending on how much you love or hate the 80s aesthetic. Fit is next. While I'm not usually a big fan of on-ear headphones, these are actually pretty comfortable. They're so light, it's really just kind of easy to forget that you're wearing them. They also have this comfort zone adjustment that takes the clamping force away from your ears and puts it on your temples. And while I was testing these, my ears got a little bit tired from the clamping force, so I switched to the light setting on the comfort zone, and then I switched back when my ears were covered. The slim metal headband can get pretty big to fit all giant noggin sizes, like even Andre the Giant. Fit gets a 3.5 out of 5 for me, which is actually pretty good considering I hate most on-ear headphones. Fiskalinity is next. I got these from Mastrap for $38. If they're not available on Mastrap, your mileage may vary, but I'll put Amazon links to a couple pairs in the description down below. Our Mastrap pair has an inline microphone, and those tend to be a bit more expensive in general than those without. Overall, 5 out of 5 for this version. Let's switch to the all-important fidelity. If you're a truly committed hipster who simply needed an era-accurate pair of headphones to match your Walkman, you can skip this part. My first reaction to putting these on was astonishment. No way they could actually sound this good. The technology hasn't even really changed since the 80s. After spending some time listening, my excitement has tempered some, but not entirely. The overall theme for these, for me, was a lack of high-end clarity. These have the same general EQ curve that most expensive headphones have. More bass and lacking a little bit in the high end. But these are better at it, I guess. The low end has a lot to it, but it wasn't too muddy or flabby. And when you get to the low mids, 200 to 300 hertz, it gets a little muddy when there's a ton of information there. For example, full band comes in on Welcome Home by Coheed and Cambria. Some things just get a little bit lost. Mids are strong, with vocals being upfront and clear. The high end is really where I miss some stuff. I listened to some stuff from Lights where there's this sparkle missing from her voice. Same thing a little bit with Diana Krall. You lose some of that great reverb that's on her vocals. The Porta-Pros do just a really good job of stereo separation, actually, giving you a great idea of where things sit in the mix. The soundstage, pretty confined. These don't really give you a sense of big spaces like some other, albeit more expensive headphones do. Fidelity gets a 3.5 out of 5. Overall score now with fidelity, of course, counting twice, is 4.1 out of 5. Solid recommendation with a couple things to add. The inline microphone sounds pretty good on the other end, a little bit muffled, doesn't really do an amazing job at killing tons of background noise. The controls consist of one button to play and pause, answer and hang up phone calls, and you can long press it to summon your voice assistant on your phone, which that is a nice addition. But they actually aren't for everyone. If you're dead set on having only the highest fidelity ever and hearing every single vibration of the vocal cords, these probably aren't for you. They do leak sound a little bit, so if you're planning on using them on a plane, well, maybe don't. If you want to use them just kind of for a general commute, I would say go for it. For me, I love hearing basically a piece of history, even if they are brand new. They're a great pair of headphones to put on if you want to have a little fun and just pay homage to the great decade, the 80s. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you liked this review and it was helpful to you, or you're just a child of the 80s like me, hit the thumbs up and subscribe. If you think nothing good came into the audio scene before 2010, hit the thumbs down. Either way, let us know in the comments below what headphones you would buy with $50, and we'll catch you in the next one.